Call me crazy if you want, but I've never liked store-bought pesto.
Susie, that is unhinged. Kind of reminds me of that time I caused a riot at a wedding. I was more of a catalyst than anything else, but still. Now there's going to be some foreplay, so bear with me. It all started when a friend of mine asked me out for her birthday with some friends. I just had a baby a couple of months before, so I was just like, yes, I need this. So she was living in Ballinasloe, and so I headed over to her house in Ballinasloe, and there was a good few of her friends and her boyfriend's friends, and we were all having pre-drinks, you know, before we went out. And all was going good, whatever, blah, blah, blah. Went out for some dinner and drinks after that, and did a tiny bit of a pub crawl, you know. There isn't a lot of pubs in Ballinasloe, so, you know. Anyway, eventually all the pubs were closed, and my friend decided, okay, I'm going to go home, relieve the babysitter and stuff like that. And she said to me, like, I don't mind if you want to stay out, but she said to her boyfriend, look, can you stay out with her? Just make sure she's safe. He was like, yeah, cool. So she went on her merry way, which was okay. It was all. We were going to go to the nightclub, but we had bumped into his cousin and his cousin's girlfriend, and they were like, oh, we're about to head back to the wedding. Do you want to come with us? The after party was obviously in full swing at this stage. It was like 12 o'clock at night. And we were like, hell yeah. Now, my friend's boyfriend would have known the people at the wedding as well, because full disclosure, he's a traveller, so they're a very tight-knit community in Ballinasloe, so he lives near a lot of his relatives. So anyway, on the way there, we bumped into more of his cousins. Bit of an argument ensued. The girl's boyfriend and another guy started having this shouting match over something stupid. I don't know what it was. And my friend's boyfriend was like, okay, kind of pulling me back, let's just keep going. I was getting on really well with this girl, and I was just like, no, I want to stay, just wait for the fight to die out a little. So they were shouting, and then she started shouting, standing up for her boyfriend. And he was like, hey, you shut up, okay? He's my cousin. And she was like, he's my cousin too. And I was like, oh God, what have I got myself into here? So anyway, the fight was over eventually. And so we kept going towards the wedding. And we got there, we got to the venue, and we went in. And I saw one of my friends was actually behind the bar. And I went over to say hello to him. And he said, what are you doing here? And I was like, oh, I'm just crashing a wedding. And he was like, okay, just be careful, because this is a town wedding. I was the only one who offered to work tonight. I was like, what do you mean? He was like, no, trust me, something's bound to go down, right? So he said, just be careful, maybe don't stay too long. And I was like, oh no, these seem fine. Everybody seemed to be having a great time. It was actually great fun. I went down to sit down at the table where that girl that I met was at, and I got talking to a lot of the girls who were at the table, and they were just so lovely, and we were just having the time of our lives, really. It was great fun. And after only about 20 minutes or so, my friend's boyfriend came over and he said, yeah, we should go now. And I was like, oh no, I don't want to go yet. I want to stay out a little bit longer. And he was like, no, we're going now. Now, this guy's a dickhead. I don't mind talking smack about him because he cheated on my friend. But that's a different story for a different day. So anyway, the girls saw this and they did not like this. No. The girls were standing up for me. They're like, she is her own woman. She can stay out as long as she wants. You can't tell her what to do. And before I knew it, everyone was shouting. I'm telling you that it was like domino fucking effect. It was a domino effect. It's like it just like spread throughout all the tables in the room. And before I knew it, there was chairs flying. People were pushing each other up against walls. There was tables being pushed over. There was stuff being knocked off the tables. There's people being thrown on tables. It was mayhem. And he had already fucked off. My friend's boyfriend. He just left without me. Like, I was there by myself, and I was just like, I didn't know what to do. I was just like, I'm just going to go stand somewhere else. And there was a waiter there, and he was standing kind of a ways away. So I went over near him, and he looked at me as if to say, yeah, I'm used to this. So the fight ended up just moving outside. So it was just me and the waiter inside then. And I decided, okay, I'm going to stay in here. It's safer. Until that girl I was talking about, I was getting on really well with. I saw her outside the window. She got pushed over by a guy, and he kicked her in the fucking head. And I was like, oh, no, I'm not having this. This girl was only about 19, by the way. She was only a baby. So when I went outside and I got her up off the ground, the poor thing, like, she wasn't even crying. She was just like, I can't believe, oh my God, I can't believe that happened to me. She was just angry, like, but she wasn't going to fight back or anything. She was upset and angry, obviously. Because her boyfriend wasn't even, like, there. Like, he wasn't standing up for her at all. I was like, okay, I'm getting you in a taxi and I'm going to take you home and make sure that you're okay. So she was like, I'm going to go find my boyfriend / cousin. So we all got in a taxi. Me, her boyfriend and her. He was sitting between me and her in the back seat. And let me say that this guy wasn't a very nice guy. He was very handsy. While he was still holding his girlfriend's hand, he was whispering sweet nothings in my ear. And I said, whoa, back off, man. I'm way out of your league. It's the best thing I can come up with, to be honest. Bruise his ego and all that, you know. Anyway, so we got to the house and I wanted to bring her in. And a few the other bridesmaids got back as well at around the same time in a different taxi. So we got in the house and she wanted to get me a drink for being so nice to her. And the first thing I saw when I got in the house, there was kids all over the floor. There, it was watching TV. This is like at 2 o'clock in the morning. But anyway, made her way into the kitchen and I think it was her mother who was in there. And the first thing she said when we went into the kitchen was, do you guys have any drugs? I was like, oh my God, what the fuck? This woman was looking after about 6 to 7 kids. Like, what the fuck? Anyway, so all the girls were talking at once. They were telling their mom like what happened at the wedding and this, that and the other. And when the girl who got kicked in the head tried to speak up, your one was like, shut up, the grown-ups were talking. And I was like, she got kicked in the head. And your one looked at me and she goes, who are you? And I was like, I'm the girl who saved her from getting the shit beat out of her by a guy. And she was like, whatever. Anyway, so what else happened? She was talking to the other girl. And I was like, do you not care about your daughter at all? She got kicked in the head by a guy. So I got her some frozen peas. She poured me a drink. Then I got a call from my friend's boyfriend asking me where I was. He knew exactly where I was. He said he was coming to collect me. And he got a taxi to collect me. And I said my goodbyes. And I went back to my friend's house and just passed out. So that is the last time I'm ever going to crash a wedding. It was a roller coaster of sorts, but it's a nice story to tell. And I tried to take a nice picture of a nice couple, but the only nice picture I could get of them was her smiling and the new husband opening her dress and taking a look down her top. And I was like, oh my God, what happened to just smiling and looking into the camera? Like, but anyways, that's me. That's the story. The end. But Susie, yeah, your story, that's insane. And I do agree, store-bought pesto is kind of shit. Well, I hope you enjoyed my story. Slán!